Good morning, everyone. It's me, EJ, and today I will be talking about the idea of prior restraint and how it related to President Donald Trump's uh, electoral campaign, presidential campaign. Sorry. And so I found an article written by the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press. I will link that uh, in the description or whatever, probably above this video when I submit it. But essentially, what happened is Donald Trump's niece, Mary Trump, and her publisher, and Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, met and decided to publish a tell all book about the president's, at bare minimum, underhanded and maybe even some illegal activities. And of course, when Trump caught wind of this, he was like, no, we can't have that. I'm trying to run for president here. So he sued them for libel and defamation and all that stuff, and tried to silence the book and derail the whole project, and that could be considered prior restraint because it directly goes against the freedom of the press clause that we have, that's been granted to us by the First Amendment of the Constitution. So obviously he didn't succeed because the book has been published since then, but that was just one of a few instances that this article mentioned. They also mentioned the Pentagon Papers from the reign of President Nixon, and how releasing them, kind of sealed his presidential campaign. So, where did the idea of prior restraint come from? Well, it was established in 1931 in the Neer versus Minnesota case that we had to study for this unit. And essentially, the ruling of that case was that the action of trying to try to cancel something that a journalist or any other outlet tries to report is obviously stifling the freedom of the press and thereby unconstitutional. So, like I said, this relates because, one, obviously we had to study both this concept and the First Amendment for our first unit in this class. And, when we're out in the mass communications field, whether it's a speech or whether we're helping our bosses write a speech or we become the boss and, we have to give a speech, or however we enter that arena, we have to make sure that first we have to make sure that our company is as right and upstanding as it can be, and when it's not, we just simply have to take the responsibility and own up to it. So, if you're working for an oil company and there's a major spill in the Gulf of Mexico that was caused by your company, you can't just be like, crap, we can't have people know about this. First off, it's a giant oil spill. Somebody's going to see it. And second, just because it would simply be unethical. So I will close with some thoughts I had reading this article. First of all, I'm glad that the book eventually did get published. I mean, Trump won anyway, so it doesn't seem like it had too much of a adverse effect on his campaign. But I still think that I agree with what the article says, that one, prior restraints is like the essence of censorship. And I guess I take that back. I don't entirely agree with that, because there are some things that don't need to be said, but exposing corruption is like one of the core concepts of journalism. So, I agree with that. And, Trump had his run. So, like, at the end of the day, he got what he wanted. So, I'm glad that, essentially, I'm just glad that the book didn't get, wasn't lost in the cracks of time or whatever. And that if you want to go read about his exploits, you're free to do that. So I'm glad that the First Amendment was preserved. Thank you for listening to my video. Again, I will link the article somewhere so that you guys can read it for yourselves. Have a great day.